Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something that I think is super relevant for anyone out there, thinking about buying their first home.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It can be so overwhelming, right? Like, where do you even
That's for
start?
sure, for sure.
We've been looking at this idea of what makes a really effective realtor.
Right.
And we found some info about this realtor, David Hein. And
Interesting guy.
yeah, and what really stood out to us was this combination of a strong work ethic with real construction experience.
Yeah, that's a powerful combo right there, especially for first-time home buyers, I think.
Totally. And that's kind of the mission today is like, how does that background actually play out
Yeah.
when you're trying to buy your first place?
Well, one thing that jumps out at me right away is that most first-time buyers, they're probably a little intimidated by the whole like physical house thing.
The actual structure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is this roof going to leak? Is the foundation solid?
Right.
And having a realtor who's actually built houses like David Hein,
Right.
he's got almost 20 years in construction.
Yeah. That's a lot of experience.
That's huge. That's a huge advantage.
So let's break that down. I mean, why is that experience so much more valuable than just someone who's, good at sales?
I think it boils down to being able to answer those nagging questions that every first-time buyer has,
Oh, yeah.
Like walking through a house, you see a fresh coat of paint, you think, what are they hiding?
Oh, yeah.
You hear a creak. Is this floor going to cave in?
Is that normal settling or is this a major?
Exactly. And David with his background, he's
Right.
probably dealt with all that stuff a million times.
So it's like real world practical knowledge.
Yeah, it's not just theory. It's not just what he read in a book. He's been there. He's fixed those problems. He's seen it all.
We saw that he's been involved in like building, rehabilitating, and even developing properties.
Yeah, the guy knows houses inside and out.
Can you give us a specific example of how that kind of knowledge could like really benefit a first-time buyer?
Sure. So let's say you're checking out a basement
Okay.
and you see some water stains, right?
Yeah.
A regular realtor might just say, "Oh yeah, there's some water stains."
Right.
But David, with his construction background, he might be able to tell you,
Right.
hey, this looks like it's just condensation, no big deal, or whoa, this could be a sign of a serious foundation problem.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Huge, right? Or maybe you see a kitchen that's like totally outdated.
Okay. Yeah.
He can probably tell you if it's a quick cosmetic fix or if you're looking at like ripping everything out and starting over.
Which would obviously be way more expensive.
Oh, yeah, totally. So it's about having someone who can see beyond the surface and understand the real cost of owning that house.
I like that seeing beyond the surface, it's not just about the listing photos, it's about what's really going on.
Exactly.
And something else that stood out to us in the information about David was this real commitment to making a positive impact on his clients.
Yeah, that really resonated with me too.
And for a first-time buyer, I mean, it's such a huge decision.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make.
Right. So how does that work ethic and expertise? Like, how does it all come together to make that experience better?
Well, I think it comes down to trust. You know,
Right.
when you've got someone who understands how a house is put together,
Yeah.
they're better equipped to spot those potential problems.
All right, like the red flags.
Yeah, and help you avoid making those like really costly mistakes.
That'd be huge.
Oh yeah, especially for a first-time buyer, you don't want to get in over your head.
Exactly.
So it's about having someone who's looking out for your best interests in the long run.
Like they're really invested in your success.
Not just trying to close a deal and move on.
And we also saw that David works with both buyers and sellers.
Yeah, that's interesting.
How could that be helpful for someone who's just starting out as a buyer?
Well, think about it from the negotiation side.
Okay.
If you understand how sellers think.
How they approach the whole thing.
Exactly. You've got a real advantage.
Yeah.
He's been in their shoes. He knows what motivates them, what their pain points are, where they might be willing to compromise.
So it's like having an inside track.
Exactly. And that can be so valuable in a market like Denver, where things can get pretty competitive.
Yeah. And speaking of Denver, he's obviously local to the area,
Yeah, Denver and the mountains.
which means he understands that market specifically.
For sure. He knows the neighborhoods. He knows the trends. He knows what to look out for.
So to wrap things up,
Mhm.
what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listener?
I think the key thing is that when you're buying your first home, you want a realtor who's got a strong work ethic
Right.
and someone who really understands construction, like David Hein.
Like they've been in the trenches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can assess a property, they understand the market, and they're going to work hard for you.
So they can really guide you through the whole process.
Exactly, and help you make a smart decision.
So for you, the listener, think about this. How could Having someone who really understands how homes are built,
Yeah.
not just how to buy and sell them.
Right, the nuts and bolts.
How could that shave your first home buying experience?
It's worth considering.
It definitely is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Absolutely.
It's been great talking about this.
Likewise.
And, yeah, good luck out there to all the first-time home buyers.
Yeah, best of luck.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.